Welcome back. Now it's time for us to go into the political segment, that is People and Politics. But later on, we will cross to Radio Taifa, and we'll be, Kina Rashid there, we'll be having a discussion relating to the examination, and they'll have experts there. We'll see how it will pan out. In studio, I have Nelly, Chepkemoi, Langat, as well as Danson, Mukile, who is in the diaspora from Washington, D.C. in the USA. Danson, habari ya asubuhi.
I'm Zuri sana bwana Oloo. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. First of all, what are you missing in the States? Wacha tundianze tu hapo.
I would say the democracy, the system that is well organized,
Yes.
and also how things that we work for, the things you work out for it all pays you back. So there's a lot that is done in here, and especially in the States, that I wish we could also do the same back home. So there's a lot to learn, actually. Yes.
And of course, we have the KCPE examination results are out. What do you make of that? Were you one of the students who are being forced to go and read? When do you
I must say I'm one of the students that my parents or my family members, they were never worried how I'm doing. And actually, I can tell you on the national television that none of my family actually asked for my report card or how did you perform in school, because they were sure that I've done my best. And I want to extend my congratulations to the entire 2021 KCPE candidates. I know we have those ones who did well and those ones who didn't do well, but I'll just tell them that it's on the end. It doesn't matter how many points or marks you got, as long as you focus and go to high school. I've seen people who scored even 200 marks, and when they went to high school, they got good grades. So it should not be a frustration. I know some young people there, they'll be crying, I did this in mock, I got more marks, but now I've dropped. So don't worry, there's always opportunities ahead. So I just want to congratulate them, and also the teachers across the nation. Yes,
absolutely. And when you look at the top performers, girls have once again outsmart the boys.
Yes, I can say they say the girl child, but I can say we are all equal. All boy and girl is equal. And being a biologist or being into science, I'll tell you that the brain always comes from the side of the mother, and we are equal. We come from the same parent, so it's the effort. We cannot say the one is the best or the other one is not the best. They are equal before us, and we have to give one another the opportunity. The boy can shine this year, the next year girl can shine. So it's just equal. But we should not discriminate our children and say, okay, the girl child, should be given more opportunity than the boys. Let them just compete equally, equal opportunities, and whoever wins, we must always get a winner. So we can't always be number one, all of us. But after all, there has been a lot of improvement when it comes to the girl education.
Quite interesting. Perhaps still on matters education, what are some of the visible comparisons that you can actually give in terms of our Kenyan system and the American system?
So when we compare the two systems, I will say the CBC that is being introduced right now, it more captures the American way of how students learn, because they go through a grading system and they do continuous assessments. They don't have where we have a national exam whereby students will not be evaluated. They usually go for those continuous assessments, and even when you apply for a high school or a college, they will always request you to provide those the assessments you used to do, so that they can gauge you and know that what you've been doing for all these years is equivalent to what you're going to study. So the nurturing also, when you compare the system in our country whereby you just do all subjects, you don't know. I've seen even our children saying, I want to be a neurosurgeon, I want to be, but in reality, when you look at how they've been doing in school, when you look at even science itself, you'll find this student is more interested in physical science more than biological science. He does experiments that are more biological or more than physical. So if we can have the system that you're developing, we evaluate the children at a younger age, we can easily tell. You can easily be comfortable that I'm going to be a pilot because your parent can actually demonstrate in the house and say what you are doing is equivalent to what you're aspiring. But the way it is right now, it has been done in a way that is a blindfold. You just have to go through the system until you reach a time, then your dream comes, But if we start our children to work on their dreams when they are still young, because even teachers, you'll find young kids practicing to be a teacher, because I can tell you for sure, majority of us, we always used to do what our parents are doing. If my mother is a teacher, we always be aspiring, I want to be a teacher like my mom. If my dad is a lawyer, I want to be a lawyer, But now if we develop a curriculum that in a way that we can assess our children in a continuous process, you are able to monitor. If you have any issues, you can easily tell, you can easily invite even an expert in a particular area and teach your child. So that is how the American systems are a bit different. Ours, absolutely, we go through the system until we reach a time whereby we cannot be evaluated, but for them, they evaluate. That's why you find them when they go to high school, they go to business high school, they go to science high school, they go to, you are able to know where you are going. Some of them will go to a particular high school, things are not going on well, they go to another high school so that until they find their way out. Yeah, so absolutely, that is how I can say it is the difference between the two.
Great. So basically, CBC is the way to go. And if you heard what CS Mako has said, that CBC is here to stay and is the best thing that's happening to this particular country. Nelly, let me also bring you in. You've heard what Danson has said. Briefly, the girl child has done tremendously well. And CBC is, we are replicating what's happening in the States. Good morning.
Thank you so much, first of all, for having me today.
Absolutely.
So what I would add on that is that I'm so happy for the girl child. It means they are breaking the barriers to outshine the other gender.
Yes.
And we are so happy as a lady, as a woman. But that doesn't mean that we are discriminating the boy child. We're just happy that the girl child is also coming up and defying the odds when it comes to education, so that they may also be seen as capable, they may also be seen as successful. So on matters CBC, I would say it is a good thing. I'm so happy it was brought. Most of us have undergone through the system that was
the 844.
The 844.
Right.
So when it comes to CBC, then it means a child is able to be nurtured. He or she is able to identify what is safe for him or her, what is really good or what will work for them. So you start nurturing that at a tender age, so that when they grow up, they are able to focus on that one thing that they are going to do with so much passion, and they eventually become successful.
You know, when you talk about CBC and leadership, we are in a particular point in life where most of the students who are getting, the CBC rolling right now are getting it at a time we're going for an election. What's the correlation that you can bring between the education system and leadership that you have? You're a youth leader.
Yes.
Yes.
So as a youth leader, I believe with the relation now that we are almost getting to the general election, and then it is bringing that practical aspect of where you can get to indulge on a practical approach. You get. So I'm looking at it as having a practical approach with regards to it. Yes.
Do you think the youths are getting their voices heard in the democratic space?
For a long time, we've not had spaces where youth are able to address their concerns. But I'm so happy in the current happenings in the country. We as the youth, speaking as a youth leader, we are coming up boldly to show our capabilities, to voice our concerns, be the voices of reason out here, so that we may able to get we are able to get seats, ears and eyes at the table, to be able to represent our people, to be able to voice out our concerns, and be able to address the youth agenda when it comes to matters decision making.
Right.
Yes.
Danson, from where you are, the same question goes to you. Do you think that the youth of this particular country is getting their voices heard?
I think for me, I won't give a yes or no answer for that question, because our system has been designed now in a way that our youth have to follow a certain pattern. You know, there is no direct system whereby our youth or young people, especially want to go into leadership, they can just go direct into leadership. There has been a design that the youth must go through a certain channel, for example, a certain prominent political leader, whom they are going to be actually, I'll call it being loyalist to the person, being loyal to the person, and out of it, this youth leader or whoever will have to follow a certain channel that it will take time, because this is a young man, a young woman who has brilliant ideas to share, but will he or she be given equal opportunity with someone who has been in the political or in the leadership for the last 20 years or 10 years? It is so hard, you know. So that is the main challenge, that it's not a direct move for the youth, and they are finding it so hard because the way the system has been designed is actually to deny them the direct entry, to tell them, hey, you have a long time, you know, you can stay, you can wait. And there's no way you can wait, because once the dream is ready, it has to be put into action. So I feel how the dream is ready, designed.
But then how do you change that narrative altogether?
Now, the only way we can change this, number one, is at the ballot. Yeah, the ballot is actually one of the best weapons to change the pattern, because I'll take it, for example, in Kenya right now we have, I'll call them political oligarchs, you know. They have been there, they have been existing, and they have created a certain system in a way that it makes it so hard for young people to enter. You realize they'll be given kazi ya mkono most of the time. Even if you come fresh from the university, if you approach, say, can you nurture me to go into political realm and, you know, being also share my ideas that I have, they will tell you, relax, your time will come, follow this is how we do it. And they will literally tell you that this is how you do it, learn from me, you know. So it denies you, because I have a way I want to do it, but for you, I want to give you your script, and it makes it so hard for me to even implement the ideas I have at that moment until later on, after a couple of years. So it is the only way we can do away with that is when we vote, we have a good vote.
Absolutely. Nelly, you know, you are an aspiring candidate in Kilgoris. Is this the best way to go, the ballot, to change the narrative?
Yes, thank you. I would also like to say that the ballot is the best way to go, because the power is with the people. If we are indeed going to say that we want to see the capabilities of having a youthful leadership, then we need to change that at the ballot. Let us have, or let us rather rally youths, women, even the men, to come out, support a youth candidate, try and look at it as this is a candidate, this is a leader. He or she is not just a youth, but is a capable leader who is bringing something to the table, who has an agenda for the people. And once you get to share your agenda or what you plan to do for the people, then I believe it is so easy to be supported.
You know, politics is competitive. What's stopping the youth from getting into, let me say, dive into the waters?
We have quite some challenges that hinder us, the youth. Firstly, I would say is finances. When it comes to Kenyan politics, we know that finance speaks quite somehow speaks when it comes to politics in Kenya.
For the logistics.
So I would say with the youth, we find it hard because of financial reasons. Again, when it comes to having to get that opportunity, we may be many, but you'll still find, for example, I'm competing with men, I'm competing with 2 other ladies. So as a youth, you really have to put in extra work and fight for that space. You need to really come out and convince people for you to get that opportunity to be on the front line of actually wanting to lead. But I always say that once you have a vision, once you're able to articulate your agenda, and you want to be of service to these people. So there's no way, whether you are a youth, a man or a woman, but because you're talking of youth, then I believe people should start changing their mindsets, their thinking. They should be able to see that even us, the youth, we are able to offer alternative leadership. Yes. Okay.
You know, you are actually running on ODM ticket.
Yes.
And Danson, you are youth diaspora, a leader in the United States and UDA. What is the common denominator when I look at the two of you? What's the common denominator? Starting with you, Danson.
I think we want to achieve the same thing, but as much as we are across the political divide, we want to achieve actually the same thing. But just to maybe to counter what my sister said about the main challenge youth faces, actually the resources, I wouldn't say it's the money. It's what we call political illusion that is killing the youth, because there has been a perception that has been put ahead among the youth that you must have this and this before you lead. Actually, it is not. The ideas you have and the procedure that you have put ahead, it is the best that the people will want. Just don't follow how the wind is going. Don't say, oh, my competitor is being supported by a certain a billionaire or so and so as a young person. We are coming fresh from the university, or we're just starting up our life. Yes, we have maybe a small family. We may not have millions of the money that she's maybe talking about. What we need to remove is the political illusion that we believe that we must have this and that before we lead. Let the youth just go share the ideas they have with the people and tell them, this is what I want to do to our community. This is what I want to do to our constituency. If they are good ideas, I can tell you, Mr. Oloo, they will elect you. I can give an example of the young man who was elected in, is it Meru, right?
Yes.
He's a living example. He was campaigning using maybe on foot and even a bicycle. But the people believed in the ideas that he had. That is what we need to have. But because we are always surrounded to the political oligarchs, you know, they are giving a ride in a Prado or a Mercedes Benz, or things you don't have that time. So to you believe that is what I need to lead. No, the ideas you have that you want to impact to your community, it is the best that we need to use. That is the weapon that you are going to have youthful leadership in Kenya, because we represent change, and there's no way we are going to represent change if we are not in that political system ourselves. So maybe you had a follow-up question. Maybe I'll just say that when you put all those things together, if the youth can rally because we are the majority, and we remove this myth and the perception or the negative connotation that has been put ahead of us that you need to have this and this before you become someone in society, we are going to liberate this country in a very nice way.
Okay. Nelly, what stands out? ODM.
I would say our ideologies as a party and what our party leader stands for. It stands for having unity first in the country. It is so important to have a peaceful country.
Yes.
And as we also gear up to the elections, he stands for having peaceful elections. So as a party, we are looking into having, first of all, leading the government. Yes. We are so much eager to lead the government. And as party, we are also looking at improving and empowering the lives of Kenyans. So as being a candidate in the ODM, I will also say that my manifesto aligns with what our party leader, His Excellency Raila Odinga, stands for. So he would really like to bring the country together, be peaceful, and be able to empower and improve the lives of people in Kenya, yes.
You know, you are an activist and you are much more involved in the grassroots sensitization about the girl child getting into the political arena and fight it together with their fellow men. Because at the end of the day,
better than the other, yes.
Danson, Deputy President was in the United States a couple of weeks ago. What do you make of the outcome after that particular meeting? Do you feel that your voices are still heard, you know, thousands of kilometers away from 254?
Thank you. Yeah, it's true. The Deputy President was here, and I was happy to host him. And I can say we are so happy because when Mr. Oloo, every year, like last year, the people in diaspora send a lot of money into the economy. Last year, we sent up to $4 billion US dollars, which is just equivalent to almost 400 billion Kenyan shillings. And for a long time, we have never had any voice. You know, both the young and even the old in the diaspora. We have always been sidelined by the government, and this, you know, the only thing we receive is maybe the embassy services, which is so limited even. So when the Deputy President came here, we had a chance and had a chat with him, both in the private and also in public forum. And I know you guys also had a chance to air it. And we told him, when a Deputy President, as the diaspora, we want you to do this for us. We want you to recognize us in your government that you're going to form. We want you to develop policies that are friendly to the people in diaspora. We want to invest back home, but there's a lot of interest that has been put ahead, you know, through maybe taxing. Then when he told us, you guys sit down, develop your own agenda. I've been going around the whole country in different counties, talking to them, selling them the bottom-up economy. They are giving me their ideas. They want each county what they want it to be done. I'm going to sign and develop my personal commitment to them. So you also do the same. And when he gave us that go ahead, as people in diaspora, especially those who are supporting him in the Kenya Kwanza Alliance, we are working on it even right now so that we will, for the first time, the people who they live in diaspora, I'm talking about even our sisters and brothers who are in the Middle East, some of them who are even being killed, you know, under the employers. For the first time, they will have a voice, direct voice from the diaspora united to the government. So I believe his visit was also happening for us.
That has been, we have got embassies and consulates still handling matters. You cannot say that's not been happening, Danson.
No, actually, but Mr. Oloo, I can tell you there have been a lot of issues. For example, I can use a case of the Middle East. The Foreign Affairs developed a policy on how they are going to help the people in the Middle East, but the policy had to go through the Minister of Labor. When it got into the Minister of Labor, there was a lot of hindrances, even from the KOTU, the labor relation, because some of the things they touch the international labor relation laws. So everything got stuck. That is why up to now, our sisters are still having the same problems. We receive videos, we receive phone calls. They are suffering, but the government is doing nothing to help them. They will just say a few things. Some of them will travel, but we need them to do more, and we need more laws. The
same question I asked Nelly here. Why UDA? You're a youth leader.
So why UDA? You always in every system you look for the friendly environment. So the UDA has given the diaspora the friendly environment to articulate their issues, and we have started our UDA leader, and he has listened to us, and we are happy that once we are ready, he's going to sign the charter, and he has promised us to implement. On the other side, so far, the former Prime Minister, he traveled to UK, and I can tell I was following the whole conversation he was having with people in the UK. I know he's planning to come to the US, but we haven't seen telling that you people in diaspora, in my government, this is what I'm going to do for you. He's giving us the old norm. So that is why we feel the UDA is giving us more attention. And that's why we realize that many people in diaspora are going to support the deputy president.
Okay, Nelly, ODM boss giving the old norm, according to him?
There's nothing new to offer.
No, there is more to offer. Because when you look at the Prime Minister, Raila is a very experienced politician, he's a strategic thinker, he's been in the field since way back, even before I was born. So I would say he isn't bringing the old norm, he's bringing an experience of a leader. And that is why we want to try him, we want to give him a try at the presidency so that he's able to take our country ahead.
Yes. As a youth, what are you taking to the negotiation table?
As a youth, I am able to go and issue out the youth concerns. I am able to represent the youths, having a voice or being a voice of reason on behalf of the youth out there, so that our issues are also able to be negotiated. As I said before, we should pay attention to policies and politics and also decision making, because I had not finished. I say that if we don't pay attention to this, then our livelihoods will be legislated out of existence. So once we have some of us who are coming up boldly to be on the decision table, to be heard, not to be on the menu, to be actually there to have our issues articulated, then it is safe to say that he has the youth agenda at heart. Yes.
Danson, when you look at youths here in the country, what they are actually looking for, one of them is job opportunity. When you look at Kenya and the US, what do you really think should be the direct comparison of where you are in terms of job opportunities? Most people in the States work 2-3 jobs differently. In Kenya, the government is, according to the UDA, the bottom-up economy. What do you make on that?
Thank you. So maybe just to remind my sister is that when I said the old norm, I was referring to for the diaspora policy, what Honorable Raila was saying. But when it comes to your question, if you compare the two governments, like what she's trying to say, it's what you call the central-centered government system, whereby go into government, give me an opportunity, I'll come and talk to you so that you can give me a chance. But for us, we are saying that wherever you are, it doesn't matter at what level, you can be able to do it at that level. If you're a young person, yes, you may have opportunity to lead. Yes, you may have you can be a minister in the youth ministry. But that one is going to cover how many people? You know, the youth makes the 50% of the population. We are talking about millions of those people. So for us to make sure that this one is covered is now to come through the bottom-up economy. And this, Mr. Oloo, it has worked in China. When you look at the Chinese economy, how it started, there are some people who start somewhere in the lower level, in the rural, and they said, why can't we do it from the bottom? Why can't we support ourselves so that we get out of this central governance whereby the government has to control everything. The government has to give us jobs. The government has to give us services. We can do it on our own. And that's why even you compare in the US, some of the agencies we work for, they are not government agencies. They are private. But the government has made sure that they get some subsidies through even taxes or direct funding to make sure that the services are running. And that is the bottom up. So that wherever you are, the small business you are doing, even border, or you are selling even sweets, how can the government make sure that you are comfortable so that whatever you are getting, it's actually going to support your child to go to school? How can you do that? So that the best way you can do is to reduce the taxes that are existing now in the system, provide subsidies, you understand? So that the government can now support you in a level that you're going to be comfortable, to be more sustainable. But what our opponents are suggesting is that we are comfortable to trickle down. You guys, what I'm going to do as the youth, I'll give you a ministry, or you'll be coming, I'll give you a position. That is not enough. I'm not representing just Danson alone. There are so many. But Mr. Oloo, I can send you a message. So many messages, people looking for opportunities. One person cannot do that. Let us have an enabling environment for our young at the bottom. Those who have ideas. We have people like, for example, the KCSE candidate who said, I want to be a robotic engineer. How can we do that? Even if we don't have maybe a lab to do robotic engineering in Kenya. You know, he has to find ways to go to other countries to do it. So we need to provide a system whereby the government doesn't control everything, all the services. If you want help, you have to depend on the government. So it's going to, you have to make it comfortable. If you start your own hospital a little bit, the county government say, I'm coming for tax for water, I'm coming for tax for electricity.
I'll come back to you, Danson. But then what you've said, I still want to, ask the same question to Nelly here. When you look at the agenda, both leaders, the deputy president talking about the bottom-up economy, what Danson is also reiterating there, and the social structures of ODM leader Raila Odinga, and etc., etc. As a youth leader, as a female contestant, what point do you strike the balance so that you also appear equal in the political arena?
My point would be that first, let me correct my friend Danson. I didn't really mean it's all about the cabinets, but you see, I'm contesting for to be a member of the county assembly in Narok. So I am not really going for that cabinet slot. All I was saying is that you should be able as youth to have someone who will represent our issues. If I am a youth leader and I'm involved in this decision-making table, for example, I'm an aspirant. If I get to the county assembly of Narok County, then I will be able, apart from representing the people of Narok, then I'll be able to also address youth issues in the county assembly. And this is also relates to the people in the national government. When you have a representative of the youth, then it means he or she will be able to come back to you, get your concerns. He, as a representative, or you will be able to go out and voice your concerns at the decision-making table. That is how it works. Yes, so please pardon your question. I was answering him first.
So the question is, how do you strike the balance between you and other contestants nationally, so to speak? Because when it comes to legislation, most people would say that leaders get elected, but once they get into office, their voices evaporate. We never hear from them.
Okay. So I would say it is not really actually also about pushing the youth agenda or the women agenda. You want to be seen as a leader out there. You want to be able to serve from a point of influence. You want to bring change. You want to be able to offer alternative leadership when it comes to you. It doesn't matter if you're a woman, it doesn't matter if you're a youth, it doesn't matter which political affiliation you're in, but it all comes down to what are you offering to the people. If you are elected, then it means these people are hiring you. They are giving you a job to represent them. So it is upon you to be accountable to them. You need to come back and show them that this was my manifesto. I promised to do this. So this is what I've done. This is what I'm to do in the next 5 years or in the next 2 or 3 years. So I would say as a leader, the balance will be in what are you really going to do for the people.
Yes.
And generally, I will put it as these people are hiring you, so you need to be of service to them, and that is why I'm saying you need to be seen as a leader who is serving the people from a point of influence.
All right.
Yes.
Because we are running out of time, we are almost crossing to the Kiswahili radio, the other side, Idhaa ya Taifa, so that we can have that conversation. Danson, I'm going to give you only 15 seconds, if you can, to give me your parting shot. Then I can allow you to go and sleep. Yes, it's past midnight in the States, right?
Yes, it's actually 1 a.m.
Time. Shot.
Okay, thank you so much. What I can tell our youth leaders, those who are aspiring, like my sister, let us avoid monopolistic tactics that maybe our leaders at the higher level have been employing, have been using, especially when it comes to political tolerance, maybe when they lose, or you have to create your own. So I just want to be tolerant and remain peaceful, and let us do clean politics, siasa safi, as Senator Sakaja always say, and I'm sure we are going to do our best, and let's continue supporting our candidates. And at the end of it all, the goal is one, to win.
All right. Okay. That's your parting shot. Thank you so much, Danson. And you, Nelly, your parting shot, 15 seconds.
Parting shot is that let us have peaceful elections so as we gear up to, and also the party primaries, let us have them being fair and peaceful. And the last thing I would say is I would ask the people of Kilgoris Central Ward from Narok County to come out and support me as a candidate and be able to support me to get to the county assembly so that I'm able to represent them and be able to offer alternative leadership and bring about change in our ward. Thank you.
Wow. Good one. Thank you. We're speaking to Danson Mukile, who is a diaspora youth leader in the United States, coming from Washington, D.C., under UDA. There you have him, as well as Nelly Chepkemoi Langat, who is also a youth leader and aspiring member of county assembly in Kilgoris, Narok County. Lady and gentlemen, thank you so much. Danson, now you can go to bed. All right. For us now, we are taking a break, but we are not done. We are taking a break, but when we come back, we are heading to the Kiswahili section, that is Idhaa ya Taifa, where our sister station will be discussing matters education with Gibson Gisore, who is educationist and lecturer at Kenyatta University, as well as Kinjabi Kibingo Eric, who is educationist and teacher Makini School. They are going to be discussing matters KCPE and education in general. Let's take a break. When we come back, straight to the Kiswahili radio station.